Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 33rd episode of the Gentleman's Gank podcast. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Pierre.
I'm Dominic, I guess.
And I'm Tim, I'm certain. I think.
What if you're not?
So,
What if I'm not certain, or what if I'm not thinking?
Yes.
well, we know the latter.
I am cognizant, therefore I am a sweet potato.
Do you know what else is going to be cognizant and take over the world? Robots.
I thought you were going to say Half-Life 3.
No. But it has been confirmed that we should... I was going to save that for later in the episode, but I guess...
Didn't we go over that last week?
Yeah.
No. Tim, we're going to talk about
I
it
just had
every
to make the
episode.
joke anyway. But yes, there's been an issue of anti-robot protest at this year's South by Southwest.
What the hell's South by Southwest?
It's a convention.
convention.
Don't ask me why they named it South by Southwest.
Pierre, why'd they name it South by Southwest?
Dominic, you did not talk almost at all last podcast. You don't get the right to ask me that question.
Pierre, why did they name it South by Southwest?
I'm ignoring you.
Not good enough.
That's not good enough.
Go on.
Anyway.
Pierre, why'd they name it South by Southwest?
Can we mute him?
That doesn't stop the fact that he's recording himself. But
Well-
Jonathan
I'll
can
edit
edit
in
him.
post.
Jonathan can edit him out for this.
Yeah, but it probably won't.
Yeah, but then you're just talking about nothing.
That's okay with me.
Isn't that what we usually do?
Pierre, why did they name it South by Southwest?
Moving on.
I'm looking it up now.
But yes, the anti-robot protests have been brought up after the alarming rate of growth within the technological field and the ever-growing dependency on technology. With computer software and programming becoming much more advanced and
Finish your sentence.
I'm trying to think of how to finish it. Because there's no real way to finish this, I feel like. I mean, it's just...
Not gonna say what I'm thinking.
Go on.
Advanced and what? Use more than one word
Just
if you have to.
everything.
Artificial intelligence has been advanced to the point where it's close enough, is what they're saying.
Well, virtual intelligence is approaching the artificial intelligence mark.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it, is pretty much that. Instead of simply the fill-in-the-blank kind of concept of it just answering questions and finding the information it needs to do so, it's getting closer and closer to the point where it can, for technology to be able to think for itself.
I have yet to see any indication that we can that we have technology that can make intuitive leaps.
That's what I'm agreeing with.
It can make educated guesses, sure, but there's a difference between
Calculative precautions? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a difference between anticipating something and expecting something.
Yeah. But it's just, this is the first major protest that has been seen with actual crowds. Like, I will have to go see if I can find a picture of the anti-robot protests.
It did have to happen sometime. We now have an actual protest like this that sci-fi movie makers can point to instead of having to make up their own from now on.
Yeah, US Today even did an article on this. Like,
And
this is...
Dominic, I don't know why it was called South by Southwest. I've even read their own history page, and they just...
That's sad. Oh, you know who might know? Pierre, do you know why they're called South by Southwest?
I'm sorry, Pierre.
I'll look it up.
Are you?
I'm sure, yeah, there's a Wikipedia page.
I checked that.
Oh, here's why it's named South by Southwest. It's named after the company, South by Southwest Incorporated.
That's a backronym. That's going back.
It's all the answer I needed.
While Pierre's looking up that, I'm gonna talk about Banjo-Kazooie.
Yay, Banjo-Kazooie!
Actually, it's called Project Ukulele in this case. It's by a group of ex-Rare employees. They have created a new studio called Playtonic Games. That is Play tonic instead of platonic, as in like Greek love. They've announced a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie with a Kickstarter coming this May. It will definitely be a 3D platformer. It's gonna have a bunch of things that we all like. And instead of Jiggies, there are going to be Pagies, because apparently they can't come up with any better names for things, which they make fun of themselves for.
To be fair, Jiggies wasn't much of a name in the first place.
Yeah, I know. That's what we were saying. That's what I just said. Maybe you should listen. Also, they specifically stated that there will definitely be no magical wrenches or vehicles.
Yay!
Yay!
Well, there goes any hope of fast travel.
Yeah. So,
Why?
Well, that's why it's got Kazooie, isn't it?
What? Have you ever played a Banjo-Kazooie game?
I know Kazooie
No, I haven't.
can barely
Can what?
fly, but you know.
Oh, so Tim, how can fast travel not use teleporters or anything of the sort?
Because vehicles.
You wanted nuts and bolts, didn't you?
No.
Nobody
Like I said,
wanted
I have
that
never
to
played a
roll.
Banjo-Kazooie game, but... Yeah.
so Pierre, have you figured out?
Yes, apparently it's a play on words with Alfred Hitchcock's film North by Northwest.
Ah.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is...
Yes, it's a film.
I
About?
never would have guessed.
I know, the compass.
North by Northwest being a spy thriller film by Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, you are terrible at explaining things, but we're gonna have to move on anyways. So,
Yeah.
we all like casinos, right?
Sure. I mean, they were really good to get Poké Dollars in.
If only if I'm allowed to bring my younger brother in. Apparently he's really good at poker.
And we all
Which
like...
younger brother?
Mark.
What?
He's scary good at poker. We don't allow him to play at poker night anymore.
So, we all like arcades too, right?
Yeah.
Well, video games could be coming to Vegas casinos.
Okay.
So,
Define video game in this instance, because video poker technically counts.
no, I mean like Angry Birds.
Or, you know, the further you get into a really difficult format of Super Mario Bros.
Yeah. So they're still working on it. They're still looking at it. There's still a bill that needs to be passed, but everything looks very positive for that. But yeah, it's... Well, obviously, it's probably not going to be games based purely on skill, like, you know, Tetris. So it'll probably be either a blend mostly focused on luck, or games that appear to be skilled but aren't. So, but still, I think it's interesting that video games have become such a large portion of the market that, you know, I wouldn't go to Vegas because, I mean, first of all, I don't have any money. Second of all, it's hot as balls out there. And
Yeah.
thirdly, I mean,
Strippers at every corner.
no, there really are. Actually, not strippers, hookers.
That too.
No. I've been there. It's all hookers. Um,
Some more flashy than others.
Remember, kids, what happens in Vegas stays on Facebook.
this is true.
No matter how much you wish it did.
And the third reason is that I don't like slot machines or poker or any of the other things that they have. So there's really not any entertainment for me at Vegas unless I was going to a convention. So it's interesting that they're trying to reach out to people like me.
Well, yeah, because you're an untapped market.
Yeah, and I'm still going to be, but, they're trying.
Yeah.
Alright, so actual news for today, although it's not going to be news by the time y'all hear it, because we're like 5 episodes behind.
Not my fault this time.
Apple TV has just been announced. Their TV streaming service. Does anybody remember when Steve Jobs said that Apple would never, ever, 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 ever go into the
Ever
Why
give up?
would I remember that? That would mean I paid attention to anything Steve Jobs said.
that Apple would never go into the TV arena, because he did. And then like a month ago, one of their top executives was like, "No, we're never going to go into Apple TV." And then like today, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's coming November or something."
So either some of that was strategic denial, or they just don't have Steve Jobs around to say no anymore.
Yeah. Pierre,
Yes.
what is Level 5?
Level 5 is the same development company of Fantasy Life 2. Well, Fantasy Life in general. What's it called?
I don't know.
It's a puzzle solving game.
Professor Layton?
Professor
That
Layton,
specific?
yes. Professor Layton, as well as a few other games. With it, they've announced new Professor Layton genre games. No more Professor Layton, though. Layton's done for now. But they're going to continue with the universe that they've established for Professor Layton with more games and probably a new series of trilogies. Big news being the Fantasy Life 2 confirmation. If you haven't played Fantasy Life, the first one, it's a very extensive 3DS game. And you can do a heck of a lot in it. Between just being a regular hero to being a chef to being there's just too many things. There's just
Can
like
you be
so
an
many-
irregular hero?
Like it's Skyrim for 3DS.
I don't remember being able to be a chef in Skyrim.
You could cook in Skyrim. You just
Yeah, but you didn't level up for it.
No. You could if you modded it.
And I only met one chef, and I think I killed him.
That seems accurate for Skyrim.
I don't know. Wouldn't alchemy count for that?
Nope. Alchemy isn't food.
That's
You eat it.
true.
Ingest it, but it's not the same thing.
Dude, you sounded like such a snob when you said that just then.
No, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
Alright.
But this isn't the only game that's been starting to get excited with announcing some new IPs or new games to be coming out. Even the developers, Square Enix has released some artwork and screenshots for Bravely Second. all of this, I think, is going to start building up towards E3 of this year, where everyone's going to start dropping the bomb.
And the F-bomb?
Yeah, I can see that.
Fuck, we can't have that.
Fuck that. But yeah, that's pretty much there. Oh, there are some. I mean, I really can't say much beyond that outside of Yokai Watch 3 and some new project that they're working on that they haven't given an exact name to. But there are future titles to be looked forward to from level 5.
Cool story, bro. Talk
There is-
about Teutonfall.
Teutonfall?
Yes,
Teutonfall.
Teutonfall.
We're now
Well,
German.
Quick question before that.
Yes.
There is one new IP that's come out that I don't think any of us have talked about. Anyone here care about Codename Steam?
Nope.
I have it. I haven't got a chance to play it. I broke my 3DS.
Good job.
The A
Well,
button.
it has an impressive pedigree.
Intelligent system.
I've heard
yeah.
decent things about it. Yeah.
Known in Japan with the subtitle Lincoln vs. Aliens.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes, you're a steampunk-powered turn-based combat against aliens, led by Abraham Lincoln. And the reviews have been very promisingly positive.
Dude, and
4
it's
out
like-
of 5, 8 out of 10s, 8.5 out of 10s, stuff like that.
With Will Wheaton as
The only
Abraham
bad thing I've heard about it is that it's an XCOM game, and that's not really a bad thing.
No, it actually, I think it did a good job in comparison to XCOM games. I'm not a big fan of the XCOM games. This one I was. Anyway, that might have just been because my opinion was a little skewed with getting the pre-order bonus.
Lincoln.
The Majora's Mask pin?
Yes. That was kind of half the reason I even bought the game. The other half being its intelligent systems, and I trust a good game developer when I see one. But
Okay,
anyway,
back to Teutonfall.
Teutonfall. Well, Teutonfall 2 has been announced.
It's
And
not
with it-
Teutonfall 2. That defeats the purpose of this.
No, if I want to speak with an accent, it's going to be Teutonfall 2.
No.
Teutonfall.
Teutonfall 2.
Teutonfall. This is absolutely Teutonfall.
No, you're wrong.
I think that's the point.
But yes, Titanfall 2 has been announced with also the same developers releasing their DLC for free now with the original Titanfall. So you no longer have to pay for all the expansions that have come out for the first one. A lot of critics have been very positive about this choice in that Titanfall has kind of fallen out of its life cycle at this point, and this would be a great way to bring players in and get new players involved because you'd have access to everything. You wouldn't have to be stuck in segmented gameplay where you can't play in this matchmaking anymore because you don't have the right maps for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great idea for games to just go in that direction. To just release those expansions for free after a certain period when you know the crowds have died down and everyone's either playing the new Battlefield game or back to playing Call of Duty. When I say everyone, I'm talking about those people that, never do anything beyond that.
Got anything else to add to that?
I mean, nothing really. There's hope that Titanfall 2 will have space battles.
Also cross-platform support.
Oh, that's true. It's going to be out for the PlayStation 4 as well as the Xbox One and PC.
They hope.
It's no longer a Microsoft exclusive.
They hope.
No, that's actual news.
Shh.
That's an actual thing.
They hope. Alright, and that's it for this episode. Thank you, guys. This has been the 33rd episode of the Gentleman's Gank podcast. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Pierre.
Me.
And I'm Tim.
Alright, see you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.